The parking lot was empty except for her car and the rain. She woke to knuckles rapping against the driver's side window, sharp and deliberate, the kind of sound that didn't ask twice. Her breath fogged the glass. Outside stood a man in a black suit, no umbrella, water streaming down his shoulders like he didn't notice or didn't care. She sat up too fast. Her neck ached. The seatbelt had left a line across her collarbone. She'd been sleeping in her car for 3 nights now, parked in different lots, trying to stay invisible. This lot belonged to a casino. She'd chosen it because it was lit, because security cameras meant safety, because desperate people made desperate choices. The man didn't move. He just waited. She cracked the window. Cold air rushed in. "You can't stay here," he said. His voice was quiet, matter-of-fact. "I'm leaving," she said. Her hands were already reaching for the ignition. "Engine won't turn over," he said. "Battery's dead." She tried anyway. The starter clicked uselessly. She closed her eyes. "Come inside," the man said. "I'm fine." "You're not." She looked at him then, really looked. He was older than her by maybe a decade. His face was calm, unreadable. Rain dripped from his hair onto his collar. He wasn't asking. "I don't have money," she said. "I know." That stopped her. She stared at him through the gap in the window. "Then why?" "Because you've been here 3 nights," he said, "and because he's watching." Her blood went cold. She followed his gaze to the second floor of the casino, where a row of tinted windows overlooked the parking lot. She couldn't see inside, but she felt it. Someone was looking down. The man stepped back from the car. "You have 10 seconds to decide." She didn't think. She grabbed her purse and got out. The casino smelled like cigarettes and carpet cleaner. It was 4 in the morning. The floor was nearly empty, just a handful of people feeding coins into machines, their faces lit by flashing lights. The man led her past the tables, past the bar, toward a hallway marked Private Asterisk. "What's your name?" he asked without turning around. "Emma." "Emma what?" She hesitated. Giving her last name felt like handing over a piece of herself she couldn't afford to lose. "Park," she said finally. He stopped at a door, unlocked it, pushed it open. Inside was a break room. A sofa, a table, a coffee maker, a bathroom. He gestured for her to sit. She didn't. "Who are you?" "Security." "Why did you bring me here?" "Because you looked like you needed help." "I don't." He almost smiled. Almost. "Your car's been towed twice this month. You're 3 weeks behind on payments. Your bank account's overdrawn. You're sleeping in a parking lot in November." He paused. "You need help." Her stomach turned. "How do you?" "We run background checks on everyone who parks here more than once." The air left her lungs. "That's illegal." "So is trespassing." She sat down, not because she wanted to, but because her legs wouldn't hold her anymore. The man walked to the coffee maker, started a pot. "When did you eat last?" She didn't answer. He opened a cabinet, pulled out a box of crackers, set them on the table in front of her. Then he left. Emma sat alone in the break room, staring at the crackers. Her hands were shaking. She didn't know if it was from hunger or fear or exhaustion, maybe all 3. She opened the box and ate one, then another, then the whole sleeve. The door opened. A different man stepped inside. She knew immediately that he was the one who'd been watching from the window. He was tall, dressed in black, no tie. His shirt was open at the collar. Tattoos crawled up his neck, disappearing into his hairline. His face was still, carved from something harder than bone. He didn't look at her with curiosity or pity. He looked at her like he was cataloging information. "You're Emma Park," he said. It wasn't a question. She nodded. He walked to the table, pulled out a chair, sat across from her. His movements were slow, controlled. He folded his hands on the table. His knuckles were scarred. "You owe money," he said. Her throat closed. "I don't." $63,000, he continued. "Medical debt from your mother's treatment. She died 8 months ago. You've been paying it off with 2 jobs, but you lost one last month. Now you're behind on rent, behind on your car, Behind on everything. Tears burned her eyes. She couldn't speak. The company that owns your debt is called Greenfield Financial, he said. They bought it from the hospital for pennies on the dollar. They've been harassing you, calling your phone, showing up at your apartment, threatening to garnish your wages. She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. How do you know all this? Because I make it my business to know. Why? He leaned back in his chair. Because you've been parking outside my casino for 3 nights, and I don't like mysteries. I'll leave, she said. I didn't mean to. You're not leaving. Her chest tightened. You can't. I'm not keeping you here, he said. I'm offering you a choice. She waited. You can walk out of here right now, he said. Go back to your car, call a tow truck, figure out where to sleep tomorrow night. Or you can stay, work for me. I'll pay off your debt. Emma stared at him. What's the catch? No catch. There's always a catch. He tilted his head slightly. You'll work in my casino, hostess position. 8-hour shifts, 5 days a week. You'll be paid a salary plus tips. In 6 months, your debt will be cleared. That's not possible, she said. $63,000 in 6 months. I'll pay it off tomorrow, he said. You'll work the 6 months to repay me. Her heart pounded. Why would you do that? Because I can. That's not an answer. His eyes didn't leave hers. You're smart, he said. You don't make stupid decisions. You didn't get into debt because you're careless. You got into it because you loved your mother. He paused. People like you don't end up sleeping in cars unless the world pushed them there. I'm offering you a way out. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to so badly it hurt. What if I say no? She asked. Then you leave, he said, and I forget you exist. She believed that too. She took a breath. What's your name? Ye. Just Ye. For now. She nodded slowly. Okay. He stood. Come with me. He took her upstairs to an office overlooking the casino floor. The walls were glass on 3 sides. Below, the machines blinked and chimed. Above, the city spread out in the dark, rain streaking the windows. Yi walked to a desk, opened a laptop, typed something. A printer hummed to life. He pulled out a sheet of paper, set it on the desk, handed her a pen. Employment contract, he said. Read it. She did. It was straightforward. Salary, hours, duties, termination clauses. No fine print, no traps. What about the debt? She asked. He opened a drawer, pulled out another document, a promissory note. Her name, the amount, the terms. He set it in front of her. This is between you and me, he said. Not the casino, not anyone else. What if I can't pay you back? You will. But if I don't? You will, he repeated. She signed both documents. Yi took them, filed them away. You start tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Someone will train you. Where do I stay tonight? Here, he said. He gestured to a door on the far side of the office. There's an apartment. It's yours for as long as you work for me. Emma's legs almost gave out. I don't understand. You need a place to sleep, Yi said. I have one, use it. Why are you doing this? He looked at her for a long moment. Because I decided to. The apartment was small but clean. A bed, a kitchenette, a bathroom with a shower that worked. Emma stood in the doorway, staring at it like it might disappear. Yi was still in the office when she turned around. Thank you, she said. He nodded once. Lock the door. She did. She showered until the water ran cold. She put on the only clean clothes she had left, crawled into the bed, and slept for 14 hours straight. When she woke, it was late afternoon. There was a bag on the kitchen counter that hadn't been there before. Inside were clothes, her size, simple, professional, a note on top for work. J. She changed, pulled her hair back, looked at herself in the mirror. She looked human again. At 6:45, she went downstairs. The casino was busier now. Music played softly through hidden speakers. The tables were full. A woman in a suit met her at the bottom of the stairs. Emma. Yes. I'm in, I'll train you tonight. Min was efficient, sharp, kind in a way that didn't waste time. She showed Emma the floor, the VIP rooms, the bar, the back hallways. She explained the clientele, mostly wealthy, mostly polite, mostly men. She explained the rules: no drinking on shift, no personal phone use, no conversations about what you see or hear. And if someone gets handsy, Emma asked. Min smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Tell security, they'll handle it. How? Quietly. Emma worked the floor for 6 hours. She smiled, she escorted guests, she memorized names and drink orders. Her feet ached by the end of the shift, but it was a good ache, an earned one. She went back upstairs at 2 a.m. Yi was in his office, reading something on his laptop. How was it? He asked without looking up. Good. Min says you're fast. I used to waitress. He nodded. Get some sleep. She hesitated in the doorway. Can I ask you something? Yes. What do you do? I mean, besides run the casino. He looked at her then. His face was unreadable. I solve problems. What kind of problems? The kind people don't talk about. She understood. She nodded and left. The first 2 weeks passed in a blur. Emma worked her shifts, learned the rhythms of the casino, started to recognize the regulars. She was good at her job. She was polite, professional, forgettable in the way hostesses were supposed to be. But she noticed things. She noticed that certain men came in through a side entrance, bypassed the floor, went straight upstairs. She noticed that security never stopped them. She noticed that Yi was always there when they arrived and always alone when they left. She noticed that people were afraid of him. Not the customers, not the staff, but the men who came through the side entrance. They spoke to him with deference, with caution, like one wrong word would cost them something they couldn't get back. She also noticed that Yi watched her. Not constantly, not obviously, but she'd feel his gaze from the office window or catch him standing at the edge of the floor, arms folded, expression unreadable. It wasn't threatening. It was something else, something that made her heart beat faster. On her 15th night, a man grabbed her wrist. She was clearing glasses from a VIP table. He was drunk, alone, angry about something she didn't understand. His grip was tight enough to hurt. Sit with me, he said. I can't, Emma said calmly. I'm working. I'll pay you. That's not how this works. His grip tightened. I'm a paying customer. She glanced around. Security was on the other side of the room. Let go, she said quietly. He didn't. And then Yi was there. He didn't shout, he didn't rush. He just appeared beside the table, silent as smoke. His hand settled on the man's shoulder. Light, almost gentle. Let her go, Yi said. The man looked up. His face went white. I was just... Yi's hand tightened. Emma heard something crack, not bone, knuckles shifting under pressure. The man let go. Leave, Yi said. The man left. Yi turned to Emma. Are you hurt? She shook her head. Go upstairs. I'm fine. Upstairs, he repeated. She went. She sat in the apartment, hands shaking, until Yi knocked an hour later. Come in, she said. He opened the door but didn't step inside. He won't come back. What did you do? What needed to be done? She stood. You didn't have to do that. Yes, Yi said. I did. Why? He looked at her, really looked at her. Because you work for me. That's not why. He didn't answer, but something shifted in his expression, something almost human. Get some rest, he said and closed the door. 3 weeks in, Emma got a phone call. It was from Greenfield Financial, the same company that had been harassing her for months. Miss Park, the voice said, oily smooth. We've been trying to reach you. I paid, Emma said. The debt's gone. That's what we're calling about. Her stomach dropped. What do you mean? Your debt was purchased last month by a private party, but there's been an administrative error. According to our records, you still owe $63,000. That's not possible. I'm looking at the paperwork right now. Who bought it? Emma asked. That information is confidential. Her hands were shaking. I'm not paying twice. Then we'll be forced to pursue legal action. The line went dead. Emma sat on the edge of the bed, staring at her phone. Her chest felt tight. She couldn't breathe. A knock on the door. Come in, she said automatically. Yi stepped inside. He took one look at her and crossed the room. What happened? She told him. He listened without interrupting. When she finished, he pulled out his phone, made a call. Find out who owns Greenfield Financial, he said. Now. He hung up, looked at her. Stay here. Yay. Stay here. He left. She didn't see him for 2 days. Min covered her shifts, told her to rest, didn't answer any of her questions. Emma paced the apartment, tried to sleep, couldn't. She felt like she was waiting for something terrible. On the 3rd day, Yi came back. He looked the same, calm, controlled, unreadable, but there was something in his eyes, something cold. It's handled, he said. What does that mean? It means Greenfield Financial no longer exists. Emma stared at him. You can't just... I can, he said, and I did. How? I bought the company, then I dissolved it. Every debt they owned is void. Her legs went weak. That's not possible. It is if you have enough money. Why would you do that? Yi stepped closer, close enough that she could smell rain on his coat. Because someone tried to hurt you, and I don't allow that. You don't even know me. I know enough. She looked up at him. What do you want from me? He didn't answer right away. He just looked at her like he was deciding something. Nothing, he said finally. I want nothing from you. Then why? Because you're mine to protect now. Her breath caught. I'm not. Yes, he said quietly. You are. He left before she could argue. Emma's shifts continued. The casino ran like clockwork. The men came and went through the side entrance. Yi watched from his office, and Emma started to understand. He wasn't just a casino owner. He was something else, something darker. The tattoos, the scars, the way people looked at him, it all made sense now. She should have been afraid. She wasn't. One night, she found him in his office after her shift. He was standing at the window, looking down at the floor. Can I ask you something? She said. Yes. What are you? He didn't turn around. You already know. I want to hear you say it. He was quiet for a long time. Then, I run things in this city. When people have problems they can't solve legally, they come to me. I solve them. How? However I need to. She walked to the window, stood beside him. Why did you help me? Because I wanted to. That's not an answer. He turned his head, looked at her. You were alone, you were desperate, and you didn't deserve to be. There are a lot of desperate people in this city. Yes. So why me? His jaw tightened. Because when I saw you sleeping in your car, I saw someone who refused to break, and I decided that I wasn't going to let the world finish the job. Tears stung her eyes. She looked away. You don't owe me anything, Yi said. If you want to leave, you can. The debt's gone. The job's yours if you want it, but you're not trapped here. What if I don't want to leave? He went very still. Why wouldn't you? Because I feel safer here than I have in a year. He turned to face her fully. You shouldn't. Why not? Because I'm dangerous. I know. Emma. I know, she repeated, and I don't care. Something flickered in his eyes, something raw. You should, he said quietly. Maybe, she held his gaze, but I don't. For a moment, neither of them moved. The city sprawled below them, distant and cold. Inside, the casino hummed with life. Go to bed, Yi said finally. Are you coming? His expression shifted, just barely. No. She nodded and left. But she felt his eyes on her the whole way. 2 months passed. Emma worked her shifts, learned the unspoken rules of Yi's world. She learned which guests to watch, which questions not to ask, which doors to avoid. She learned that security wasn't just security, they were enforcers. She learned that the casino was a front for something much larger. And she learned that Yi was never not working. He slept 4 hours a night, maybe less. He met with people at all hours, took calls in 3 languages, disappeared for days and came back with new scars. He was calm, controlled, untouchable. Except when he looked at her. Then something cracked in his armor, something human. One night, a man came through the side entrance. Emma recognized him. He'd been there before, always alone, always tense. Tonight he looked worse. His shirt was stained. His hands were shaking. He went upstairs. Emma heard shouting. Then silence. Security escorted him out 20 minutes later. He was crying. Emma found Yi in his office afterward. He was washing his hands in the sink. "What happened?" she asked. "He made a mistake." "What kind of mistake?" Yi dried his hands, turned to face her. "The kind that costs lives." "Did you?" "No," he said. "I gave him a chance to fix it." "What if he doesn't?" "Then I will." She stepped closer. "Does it ever bother you?" "What?" "The things you do." He considered the question. "No." "Why not?" "Because the people I hurt deserve it." "Always." "Always." She believed him. "Do you think I'm a monster?" he asked. She shook her head. "I think you're the only reason I'm still alive." Something in his expression broke, just for a second, then it was gone. "Go to bed, Emma." "Come with me." He froze. "What?" "I'm not asking for anything," she said. "I just don't want to be alone." He looked at her for a long time. Then he nodded. They sat on the couch in her apartment. Not touching, just sitting. Emma curled into the corner, pulled a blanket over her legs. Yi sat at the other end, arms folded, eyes on the window. "Tell me something about you," Emma said. "Like what?" "Anything." He was quiet. Then, "I was 16 when I killed someone." Her breath caught. "Why?" "Because he was going to kill my sister." "Where is she now?" "America, married, 2 kids. She doesn't know what I do." "Do you miss her?" "Every day." Emma pulled the blanket tighter. "Thank you for telling me." He nodded. They sat in silence until she fell asleep. When she woke, he was gone, but there was a blanket draped over her that hadn't been there before. 4 months in, Emma's debt was nearly cleared. She'd saved money, started looking at apartments. She didn't tell Yi. She didn't want to leave. One night, she found him in the parking lot. It was raining again. He was standing beside a car, hands in his pockets, watching the street. "What are you doing out here?" she asked. "Thinking." "About what?" He glanced at her. "You." Her heart stuttered. "What about me?" "You're leaving soon." "How did you?" "I pay attention." She stepped closer. Rain soaked her hair. "I don't have to." "You should." "Why?" "Because staying here means staying in my world. And my world isn't safe." "I know that." "Emma." "I know," she said again. "And I'm staying anyway." He turned to face her fully. Rain dripped from his hair. His eyes were dark, unreadable. "Why?" "Because I trust you." "You shouldn't." "Too late." He stared at her. Then he reached out, slowly, and brushed a strand of wet hair from her face. His fingers were warm. "I don't deserve you," he said quietly. "You don't get to decide that." His hand lingered on her cheek. "If you stay, you're mine." "I know." "I don't share." "I don't want you to." Something fierce flashed in his eyes. "I won't let anyone hurt you." "I know." He kissed her, slow, deliberate, like he was memorizing the shape of her mouth. Emma kissed him back, hands fisting in his jacket, heart pounding. When they broke apart, he rested his forehead against hers. "Stay," he said. "I'm not going anywhere." 6 months passed. Emma's debt was cleared. The paperwork was shredded. She stayed in the apartment, kept working at the casino, and no one questioned it. Because she was his now, and everyone knew it. Men stopped looking at her too long. Guests stopped testing boundaries. Security nodded when she passed. She wore Yi's world-like armor. And Yi. He was different with her, still calm, still controlled, but softer. He touched her when they were alone, held her when she couldn't sleep, told her things he'd never told anyone. She learned that he'd built his empire from nothing, that he'd clawed his way out of poverty with blood and brilliance, that he'd lost people, buried bodies, made choices that haunted him. And she learned that he loved her. He never said it, but she knew. She knew when he checked her schedule to make sure she wasn't working too.